We are ready. Let's read these sponsors real quick.
What's going on, guys? Before we start this lovely podcast, a quick shout out to our sponsors. The first one up,
Inverted Gear. For all your jiu-jitsu, rash guard, gi, shorts, spats needs, go to invertedgear.com.
Get the dopest in threads.
Get the dopest in threads.
Don't get it twisted. Inverted Gear is on top of their game right now.
That's
man.
right. Go to invertedgear.com. Type in the coupon code ShowTheArt15.
Tell them how much you're going to save. How much?
15%.
15%, baby.
It's a big deal.
It's a big deal.
We wear Inverted Gear in every class.
I'm wearing it right now. I wear it when I go to sleep. I wear it when I shower.
That's it.
That fit. I wear it everywhere.
Beach.
Working out.
Mahalo.
Just mahalo back, baby.
That's it.
Another quick shout out to our other sponsor, Chimera Coffee. Get the sweetest in caffeine, man. Get the best coffee in the game from the Dominican Republic. You can't get any better than that, man.
No, because the coffee is infused with nootropics. N-O-O.
Tropics.
Tropics.
There you go, baby.
That's it.
Can't spell it wrong.
The word tropic is in it.
Exactly.
That's right. It has to be good.
So Dominican Republic, new tropics.
That's right, man.
So
it's got caffeine to get you going. It's got nootropics to keep your brain straightforward.
Get the mind right. Get your mind right, man.
That's it.
Yeah.
Go to chimeracoffee.com, type in the coupon code ShowTheArt, and save a whopping 10%.
No big deal, man.
That's it, guys.
Oh, we got one more thing.
Yeah. Go to our website, showtheart.com. In a couple of weeks, our new big website is going to be live. But for now, you can buy, our stuff if you'd like. We have a sale going on. It's in honor of the IBJJ Worlds, the most prestigious gi tournament you can do.
The Super Bowl of jiu-jitsu.
That's it, man. And if you type in the coupon code BJJ Worlds, I believe, I'm pretty sure. Check our Instagram. It's there. And you'll save 30% off. What?
Wait. Hold up. Back it up.
30% off.
30%?
Yes, sir. Sale ends like Wednesday next week.
So for all you cheap-ass bastards, this is the time to take advantage of it, man. Take advantage of what they're doing, man. 30%.
That's it.
Go get it.
What's up, man?
Yo, what's going on, people? You're listening to the Show the Art podcast. Today we got a special one.
Ooh. Today our guest is going to be
the one and only.
Yeah, UFC commentator, former UFC fighter. I consider him a legend in the game.
Yeah.
Jiu-jitsu practitioner, and now he's revisiting jiu-jitsu again and competing again.
Commentating on the Worlds this weekend. We will talk about that, but guys, if you don't know who we're talking about, it's not me. It's not Ames.
No, it's a guy who's fought legends as well.
It's not Steven Seagal.
No, it's not Chuck Norris either.
It's not Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Kenny Florian, people. K-Flow will be in the building, but before we start, he's gonna be on the interwebs.
Well, he's gonna be on the phone, man. Why you gotta?
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah, same thing.
Tomato.
Yeah. So what's going on? Dude?
Yeah.
Tonight's a special night as well. It's an exciting weekend, man.
NBA Finals.
NBA Finals on. There's a Stanley Cup for all you hockey fans. All two of you that are listening right now. What else we got? We got the Worlds. We got the fight, UFC 212 that we're going to talk about with K-Flow.
Right. Aldo versus Holloway, champion versus champion.
Champ versus champ. And last but not least, it's probably the most important event. You know what it is?
No.
What? WWE Extreme Rules.
What does that mean?
It means it's going to be spectacular.
Hold on. Do they spell Extreme Rules with just an X?
No, that'd be cool, though. They added the E.
Oh, good. Thank God.
They didn't take the E out.
Thank God they didn't go extremely cliche.
No, they didn't.
See what I did there?
So on a excitement level from 1 to 10.
0.
We're going to go. We'll start off ready at like 9 because I know you can't go any lower than that. Okay. How excited are you?
0. I didn't even know it was happening.
So 0, 0 means you're fully excited. So I dig it, man. You're fully excited for this.
Hold on.
Yeah.
How excited are you? 0 to 10.
I'm at an 8.
Okay.
It's not like
I share your excitement. So mine is like at a 4.
So you share half of my excitement.
Yeah. Because your excitement rubs off on me, so I get a little excited like, oh, snap, maybe this is good.
It is good. Can I nerd out real quick? You know what makes it even more...
You got 1 minute.
You know what makes it even more exciting before Kenny jumps on with us?
The Rock is fighting?
No. We did a fantasy draft
on
with
what?
wrestlers.
Hold up. You did a fantasy draft on a fantasy sport. That is epic.
No. I did a fantasy draft on an epic sport. Okay. So me, Gary, another guy that trains. Shout out to Gary, another nerd out there.
Big Gary.
Nerd, big Samoan-looking Gary. Mm-hmm. So him and another friend of mine, close friend.
Okay. Cool. So what's your close friend's name?
Ace.
Oh, Ace. Okay. Cool.
So
I've heard stories. I don't know
the loser of the it goes up to SummerSlam, which is in August, which doesn't really matter to you anyway. But the winner. The losers have to call him Your Majesty for 4 months until the next major pay-per-view, which is Survivor Series. Okay. And then they have to bow. Like the Triple H bow, like the curtsy, like the knee, the leg sweeping behind you.
Holy crap.
As you
This is like Game of Thrones bow style.
It's very disrespectful. So imagine doing that in front of your fans and calling your friend Your Majesty.
As long as it's not, you got to wear like a dress or shave your head. That shit is dumb.
Wait. What's wrong with shaving your head?
No.
What's wrong with no hair, dog?
There's nothing wrong with that, but the idea that makes it any worse. Like,
I get
now
you.
It's disrupting my whole life.
Yeah.
I'd rather not do it. I'd rather have an inconvenience when I'm around my friends than disrupt my entire life for some stupid stuff.
That is. So your stupid level isn't at a high.
Exactly.
Yeah. You probably reach a 5 on stupidity.
Let's
Me,
face
on the
it.
other hand, I might go a little 9.5.
Yeah, let's face it. We're not living a Jackass movie.
We're not.
So don't go around shaving your head because you lost a bet with your dumb friend.
Yeah, man, don't do that because that's just stupid. I would never do that.
Why do you say it like it happened to you?
No, man. Where's Kenny? Is he calling it? Can we call him already, man?
Not yet. He's still on. He's still getting his Kenny stuff together.
Oh, he's still getting his hair done.
Knowing Kenny, he's probably getting his hair done right now. He's probably getting his elaborate notes right now because the guy is a beast.
Yeah,
when it comes to
he is a
commentary.
man of many talents. He wears many hats. He has that bot that you know that bot.
Oh yeah, that battle bots.
That battle bots.
He still does that.
I'm not sure, but I know he did that.
Did it.
But he has like that. That's his range. He goes from battle bots to freaking GQ to dressing up dapper.
He was on GQ magazine.
I think he had like a little photo shoot or something.
Say what?
I wouldn't be surprised. Like, what is he, Kenny? I'm gonna ask him. What do you not do, man? Can you swim? He probably can you climb a mountain? He probably did that.
I can make a bet.
Mm-hmm.
I shave my head.
Okay. I like this.
That the bet is, what does Kenny not do?
Okay.
I guarantee you, I bet you, he doesn't watch WWE.
Oh, I cannot wait.
How good of a bet is that?
Hot dog. I like this bet.
I truly don't know. I hope we didn't talk about it.
Okay, I got to do an extreme. I don't know either. I'm willing to make that bet too. If I lose, if he doesn't, damn, this is.
If you lose, you have to smash your glasses on the floor. That's how bad shaving the head thing is.
Oh, okay, so maybe let's just do burgers.
Okay, that's fine.
Let's bring down the stupidity level just a little bit. I have enough friends I could do that with, and let's just do
okay, cool.
Bobby Flays.
Cool.
I hope all you culinary artists over there aren't getting mad that we
culinary enthusiasts.
Yeah, aren't getting mad that we mentioned
real quick,
Bobby Flay.
Not to change the subject while we're waiting for Kenny. NBA Finals, they're on tonight. I'm gonna try to get this episode out today.
I'm gonna try to sneak it. You didn't post it, you son of a.
We're going. We're doing it now. I still gotta. Put it up.
Oh no! Did we post the last one? We posted the last one.
Yeah.
Oh, we're good.
I'm talking about this one that we're talking to right now.
Yeah.
That we're recording right
A$AP
now.
Rocky.
I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get it out.
Okay.
But if I don't, sorry.
Okay.
But regardless, NBA Finals today. Let me ask you a question, Ames.
We got to make sure we ask Kenny too.
I'll ask Kenny the same question. Remind me.
Okay.
Hopefully he calls in right now the second as I'm asking the question, so it interrupts me. What is more of an accomplishment?
Okay.
Or more, I guess overall, like, whoa thing. LeBron James, 7 years in a row, making it to the NBA Finals.
I think it's at 8.
Hold on. Comparing. Which one's more?
Okay.
That or two teams meeting each other in the NBA Finals 3 years in a row. The same exact team.
That's pretty crazy.
And the core is pretty much the same, right?
Yeah.
You added Kevin Durant, but that's the bottom line.
Wow factor, impressive factor, I got to go with LeBron James going 7 to 8 times. I forgot what the number is, but him being there, making it, because all you need is LeBron James, man. That shows you how great. All you need
is LeBron.
You got
James.
That all you need is LeBron. You got it.
That's right. And you're right, because how many teams have went to the finals 3 years in a row?
Mm-hmm.
Many
a lot,
teams,
actually. Lakers, Bulls. Who else is there?
Miami
Bulls,
Heat when LeBron was on, right? Didn't they go 4 years in a row?
Yeah, I think they could have 4-peated.
which is crazy.
Yeah, well,
but yeah, I mean, no, they did because LeBron went to the finals for the last 7 years.
Yeah.
So, Miami, Lakers on a couple of occasions, right? Mm-hmm. But the common denominator is LeBron in 7 years.
Yeah. On it, yeah.
Jordan didn't do that.
Wherever he,
Did Jordan do that?
Jordan didn't do that. But the argument is if Jordan didn't retire and play baseball.
Mm-hmm. That was like 2 seasons worth, right?
Yeah.
Because he came back like mid-season.
Yeah. He came back with I think 12 games left. And then they got beat by the Orlando Magic when Penny and Shaq were still doing their thing.
So that don't really count. But then the next season 45. They won, right?
Yeah.
Next season he came back with that fadeaway.
Mm-hmm. With his whole game. See, that's what you got to appreciate about Michael Jordan. When he left the game, he was probably the most athletic, explosive, dunking on everyone, exciting player we got. But then when he left, he played baseball for a bit, came back, his game evolved, man. He went from being a killer athletically to killing you a different way now. From that mid-range game, that fadeaway game, that's what everyone started doing. That's what I started doing when I was at the playground, just practicing my fadeaway, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1. LeBron James. Oh, we got him on call. Oh, even better.
Hello.
What's up?
Yeah, Kenny, what's going on, brother, man?
What's up, guys?
Good.
Hey, man, it's me, Abe, and Ames again. Welcome to the show. Kenny, Florian, how the hell are you?
I'm well. Thank you for having me.
Good. Hey, Kenny, before we get into the nitty-gritty, we got a very important question before we start. WWE, do you watch it?
No, dude, I probably haven't watched for a very long time.
Oh, fuck, I owe Abe a burger.
Yeah.
Not since I was a kid. Yeah,
I know, yeah.
I was a fan when I was a kid.
Who watches? Yeah, we all grow up, Ken, and we just move right along,
Kenny,
man.
Ames's favorite...
Except for Daniel Cormier. Daniel Cormier still watches.
Is he?
He sits down live with his kid. He loves it. He's into it.
Mom, I think I just found a new best friend. we got to get Danny on call.
Kenny, the bet, we were talking about you going, because we're live right now, we were talking about you saying, you have so many hats, you do so many things, you're commentating here, there, left and right. We're like, what does Kenny not do? And I made the bet that you don't watch WWE.
He went as far to say he would shave his head, but we took it down a little bit. We just went with burgers. So
Be careful doing bets on podcasts, guys. You guys remember what happened to John Anik?
Oh yeah.
True.
He had a tattoo. He has a 209 tattoo on now.
He did get it?
Where did he get it again?
Yeah. He got it on his forearm. So he lost that bet.
I respect him for getting that tattoo though.
Yeah.
For 209. That's awesome.
He committed.
I wish he got a big 209 on the back like Steve-O has. Like a huge. That would have been awesome.
That would have been great.
I know, lower back is what I told him.
Tramp it up. That's what I always say.
Yep.
But dude, how are you, man? We were talking before you came on. We were literally just talking about the NBA Finals. It's going on tonight.
Who do you got?
Man, I don't know, dude. I'm a Celtics fan, and obviously
it hurts either way.
Cavaliers.
Yeah.
I mean, they treated us like we were the Washington Generals and they were the Harlem Globetrotters. It was bad.
It was bad.
But yeah, I mean, Golden State and Cavaliers, I feel like they're just a completely different level altogether. Mm-hmm. So I think it will probably be a pretty magical series. But I don't know. I guess people are saying Golden State. Now that the Celtics are gone, man, I don't care. That's it. Next year, we're gonna get the first round draft choice or some kind of trade. So yeah, man, we'll see what happens.
Now let me ask you. We were just talking about this and exploring the idea of. I mean, it's amazing that LeBron James went to the NBA Finals 7 years in a row. It's pretty insane.
Yeah.
Now, what's more of a wow accomplishment? That or the fact that two teams have met in the finals for the last 3 years in a row against each other?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean both of those things. I mean, I don't know, maybe the fact that both those teams, have met in the finals the last 3 years. It shows how strong they are, how consistent they've been, and in a league where there's a lot of stuff can happen. They rised above it all. So that's probably more impressive that two teams are meeting each other yet again.
Yeah, even though there's not as much parity, it is a sexy matchup that everyone has been waiting for. Because if you put any other team, I don't think the ratings would have been as high as this right now. You need these. Yeah, this is our Celtics and Lakers from back in the 80s. So it's kind of I think we should really cherish this moment right now because who knows when we're gonna get a player like this and a team like the Warriors ever again.
Yeah.
Right
now,
I agree.
Is it win or bust for Kevin Durant?
Shit.
I mean, I don't know, man. Listen, I think that I don't know how many more years he has left, but I think that he'll have another chance. I think. I mean, they may very well pull it off anyway, but I hope he does. For his sake, I hope he does. LeBron's got enough rings at this point, so I don't know. Yeah,
That's
I'd
true.
like to see Kevin get one done.
Yeah, you wouldn't feel bad if LeBron didn't win one. I love how it's
exactly.
I love how we're saying it's LeBron versus the Warriors. We're not saying the Cavs versus the Warriors. So that's where we're at right now. Yeah, but let's get right into it with UFC, man. UFC 212. How excited are you for this card?
I'm very excited, dude. The main event is absolutely sick. Max Holloway's a guy I've been following for a long time. Mm-hmm. First time I saw him fight, I think he was like 21 years old in UFC. I said, man, this kid's going to be something. And I was really impressed. Remember, I was backstage. I think it was the night that I retired, actually.
Okay.
And I was backstage with some of the fighters, and Max was one of them. And I was really impressed with how composed he was and how mature he was for his age. And then I saw him compete, and he was an absolute killer. And he deserves to be in this situation. I think he's tall, rangy. He's got every technique in the book when it comes to striking.
Okay.
He's pretty dangerous on the mat as well. I don't think he's, certainly not up to par with Jose Aldo, but
yes.
He does have some good guillotines and positions and stuff like that. He's tough to take down.
Yeah.
And he's super confident right now. But he's going against the best featherweight of all time in the UFC, a guy who I fought who is insanely fast and strong, and I still think he has that chip on his shoulder from the Conor McGregor fight.
Yes.
So I think he's hungry and kind of ready to prove people wrong to a certain extent, because I think he's not so active, and people forget how good Aldo really is.
Yeah,
true.
And you know what's crazy, Kenny? The fact that he's not so active but can still come in and be very effective is even more remarkable, honestly.
No, for sure. Like, I think people forgot about that. I think people thought that after the Conor McGregor fight, that Aldo wasn't going to be the same. He was facing Frankie Edgar, who's an absolute killer. And, man, I think the world of Frankie Edgar. This guy is for sure to be a Hall of Famer, one of the best fighters that I've ever seen compete.
Absolutely.
And I don't know if he landed more than 2 clean punches on Aldo. I mean, his defense was at a different level. So this is a Jose Aldo who is still a student of the game and continues to improve.
Sure.
It really speaks of his evolution.
Yeah.
We saw Jose fighting the same exact way, kind of like buzzing through everyone. And then when he gets that loss, when he goes against Frankie, he totally changed it up. Just like when we said with Jordan, when before he retired, all athleticism coming at you, dunking. When he left, came back, fade away. Mid-range. Yeah. Totally changed it up. And I think that's what we're seeing right now with Jose.
That's a great point. And, he's 30 years old now. He's not, the 24, 25-year-old killer he used to be. 30 still is young.
Yes.
But, yeah, you're right. You got to start to evolve your game because, one of the first things to go for an older fighter is speed.
Yeah.
I agree, Kenny. And what I love about Aldo and his evolution is maybe getting knocked out by Conor in 13 seconds was the best thing that could happen to him in this like invincible career that he's had. Like another win and another win and another win, it adds to his legacy, but it might not have made him better. But losing, we saw a new Aldo against Frankie Edgar. Like you said, he was willing to play the game and defeat his opponent by changing the strategy, as opposed to just being, like Ames said, the buzzsaw that kind of goes forward and plays Jose Aldo game. So I feel that is a big deal in his evolution now, and I feel that also the Conor McGregor thing is erased from his memory banks as far as losing.
Yeah, no, and you're right. I think so many times we see the small picture. We just see things as far as wins and losses, and we kind of stay in that moment from the past. And the reality is when you look at the big picture, what is it going to do? What is it going to do for you? And I think Aldo realized he can't get emotional during a fight. He can't leap in and just try to use his speed to get it done. True. He's got to be smart. He's got to set up with feints, and he's got to be better defensively. And I think we saw that against Frankie.
Yeah, and that's what makes it even scary is that he evolved. Who would think someone like Jose Aldo can evolve? Now, Ken, you've been around. I'm guessing you've been around the both of them. What's the size difference between those two? Do you think it's going to play a big part in this fight?
I tell you what, Max is tall. He's definitely going to be the rangier fighter. He was a little bit taller than me, I remember. So I think he's like 5'11",
Yes.
Max Holloway. Yeah, so he has about an inch on me, and I didn't think he was that tall. And Aldo is probably around 5'7".
5'7",
yeah. And so that range, and especially when it comes to Max Holloway, a guy who can switch his stances on the fly, that can be very tricky for a fighter. And I know Jose Aldo, I think he has an easier time against right-handed fighters than he does against southpaw fighters. That's what I have seen, in my opinion. So for Holloway, I'm curious to see is he going to switch it up the whole fight? Is he going to just stay southpaw? I don't know. So I'm really curious to see what Holloway's approach is going to be for the fight against Aldo, or what stance he comes out at. And I don't know. It's going to be an interesting fight.
You totally answered my question, because I was going to ask next, like, what would Max Holloway's game plan be? Because if he comes at him to kind of take away the leg kicks, we see Jose, he has counterattacks now, so it's I go back and forth. I really don't know.
He showed a willingness to move backwards now, and that's something we're not used to seeing.
Very dangerous.
And that will help him a lot with counter-striking a rangy fighter, like you said. And having the reach advantage is one thing, but if you're not the fighter to use it, it doesn't matter. Holloway uses it,
he does.
and he's a very patient fighter. But from what we've seen, guys that are a little patient against Aldo, they get punched in the face a lot.
Exactly. Well, that's the thing. I mean, he's developed his skill to a point where it doesn't matter what you do. I mean, that's the goal, whether it's jiu-jitsu or MMA or fighting or any type of combat. It's anywhere you want to fight me, anywhere you want to be, whether it's up in the air, on the ocean, on the ground, whatever it is, I'm going to have an answer for it. And Aldo has developed his skill set to a point where he can pretty much fight at any range now,
which is awesome.
Which is yeah. So can we go into a couple of keys for victory for each opponent? Some of the things that I have written down for Aldo was, the advantages he has will be in the speed, in the power factor, obviously in the experience, whether it comes to 5 rounds or not, and of course his newfound willingness to adapt. But what do you feel are Aldo's keys to the victory?
I think that obviously his leg kicks are always going to be a factor. Sometimes we don't see them thrown because of the fear of the takedown. Like, for example, against the wrestlers, the Mendez and the Frankie Edgar, you won't see him let those fly as much. And I think that in this fight against Holloway, he doesn't have to fear the takedown, so I think he's going to let those things rip like crazy. And when you get a guy like Holloway who moves so well, you need to be able to slow him down. So leg kicks is that's always going to be a part of Aldo's game, but especially now against another striker. And I think the other thing is his movement, his ability to move.
Hello. You're breaking up, Kenny.
Counter Holloway consistently, and then I think for Holloway, he's got to fight long. He's the longer fighter, and he's got to fight long. If he can use his long range weapons against Aldo without eating leg kicks, now that's the key. I think it'll put him in a good position, and I also think he needs to be leading the dance. He needs to be backing Aldo up. And kind of trapping him up against the cage, not necessarily for a takedown, but to limit his movement where he can get off and use that reach.
Yeah, similar to the Stipe Junior fight, because it seemed like Junior was going for those leg attacks, and Stipe just kept coming forward, and then he caught him.
And it forced him to run away. Yeah. I agree with you on the Max Holloway keys to victory, and I feel that one of his advantages that can go against him is his willingness to kind of slug it out. And his willingness to risk it all because he's so young and he wants the gold. But I feel that could be an advantage against Aldo, or it can be a disadvantage depending on.
I agree. I agree, man. I mean, Hawaiian fighters are never going to be afraid to stand there and scrap, right? I mean, he just that's what he loves. I mean, if people remember his fight against Ricardo Lamas, where he just told him to come in right in the middle of the cage, let's do this. So he's an absolute beast. So I think that. He's not going to be intimidated fighting Aldo in Brazil, but at the same time, like you said, I think he does need to be careful because Aldo is going to have a speed advantage, and people kind of sleep on Aldo's power. Sometimes Aldo's really smart. He won't put everything into every punch. He kind of he'll tag you just a little bit, and then on the last one or that middle part of the combination, he'll throw something with power, and it's a tricky thing to get on rhythm-wise.
What I love. with Aldo, especially when you watch his highlight videos, which are extremely long, by the way, extremely long. But what I love to see, because you don't see it very often, is him hit a guy with a leg kick that hesitates them, and then he nails them with a two-piece right after.
Yeah.
It's like leg kick,
Yeah.
they hesitate, and then
Bang,
boom,
bang.
boom. And it's so beautiful because a lot of times people throw leg kicks and then they move back because they're trying to dodge, a counter strike. But he stays in the pocket after leg kicks and then tries to blast you.
He does.
It's beautiful to watch.
With all that said, who do you predict winning?
I'm going with Aldo. This is a tough one for me. I think Aldo by decision. I think that Holloway is going to be a very tough challenge for him, but I got to go with Aldo. I think that Aldo's still hungry.
Yeah.
I still think he's improving. We haven't seen him in a year. I mean, he could be a completely different fighter. That's the thing. It's hard to keep up with what Aldo's doing because we don't see him consistently compete in the cage.
That's right.
So I gotta go with Aldo. But Holloway's been way more active.
Sure.
He's the younger fighter. But I'm going to go with Aldo. I think Aldo by decision.
Now, what do you think about the fact that Aldo's saying, I guarantee this fight you're going to see the old Aldo. I'm going to guarantee you that I'm going to finish him either by knockout or submission. Do you like that? And from someone as experienced in the professional realm as you, does that make a difference whether you say it or not? Like coming into the fight, reality is different,
Well, Aldo really hasn't been the best marketer of his fights. He's so quiet, and he tries to let his fighting do the talking. But unfortunately, in this landscape of marketing fights and people talking trash, sometimes it's not enough, But I think that he might mean what he says because he is going against another guy in a striker. He doesn't have to fear the takedown. He's the guy who's going to be better on the ground. And I think that he probably likes this matchup to show everybody, listen, I'm going to go out there and just let it rip. I'm going to try to knock this young kid out. This young kid's been talking a lot of trash.
Yeah.
I'm going to make an example out of him and show who the best featherweight in the world is. So I think that that's kind of bothering him.
Okay.
Hearing that and maybe seeing that highlight of him getting knocked out by Conor McGregor doesn't help. And I think that has really lit a fire underneath Jose Aldo.
Mm-hmm. And you feel that actually somebody lighting a fire under you makes a difference because everybody's trying to win. Everybody's trying to knock the other guy out. But do you feel that does truly make a difference in each fighter?
I do, especially when you've been around for a long time. I think you look for things to get you fired up, about, and it's easy to be complacent sometimes, especially when you're at the top. And I think for Jose Aldo, he probably needs that extra motivation. And when you get this young kid who's coming up, who's trying to take your belt, I think it's the perfect recipe for him to get fired up about it and really get motivated to fight. And this is a guy he's been fighting professionally since he was 17 years old. He's 30 years old. That's 13 years in the game fighting at an extremely high level.
Wow.
So I think Max Holloway saying what he says is perfect for Aldo to kind of get fired up again.
Sure. Great answer. Now, as far as the marketing aspect, you're right. Aldo doesn't say much. He likes to have his fighting do the talking. But let's say you can steal anyone from history, their marketing strategy, whether it be a Mike Tyson, whether it be a Muhammad Ali, anybody in the history of fighting that Aldo can kind of copy to make him sound more marketable. Who would you suggest he would emulate?
Jeez, obviously you can't fault Conor McGregor at this point. You have someone who is completely out of – it's a completely different sport, and they want to fight Conor McGregor. You got a guy, Floyd Mayweather, who wants to fight Conor McGregor. He's not even in his sport, and he wants to fight him because he knows how big of a fight it would be.
Sure.
So I think it speaks to the confidence and the marketing skills of Conor McGregor.
Sure.
I haven't seen anything like it. I'm not sure we will see anything it again. Obviously, there's Muhammad Ali, who was one of the best marketers of all time. But I tell you what, Conor McGregor is right up there. I mean, you look at just the few amount of fights that he had in the UFC, and he was already such a huge star.
Yeah.
It's remarkable, and I think it's something that there's mixed reviews. Obviously, people say, oh, he changed the landscape now. Everyone's trying to be Conor McGregor. Everyone's trying to talk trash. But I think whatever it is, I think Conor's being true to who he is. I don't know if that's who Aldo is.
Yeah.
But if Aldo did kind of have those qualities that Conor has, the fast talking and the trash talking and that style, I think that would certainly help him a lot.
Sure. Yeah. I feel like Aldo needs to take the approach, like a Conor McGregor marketing style. It just doesn't match Aldo.
It does. That's not who he is.
But I feel like maybe like the way Mike Tyson used to talk about like destroying people, and I'm gonna really, and because Aldo's fighting style, the way he hurts people in the cage, it kind of matches the way Mike Tyson used to talk. Obviously, toned down a bit, because Mike Tyson in his time, he said a lot of verbose things. But I feel like if Aldo said things more absolute, I am going to knock this guy out, I am going to show the world how brutal and how devastating I could be. Those kind of words, I feel like just that alone would
so more like the
get
few
people
words.
more excited for him.
Few words, but very
I agree. He's a destroyer, and I think he should embrace that. And I think he's a lot of fighters, especially kind of who come from the jiu-jitsu backgrounds. We're taught to be humble and quiet and all those things. So I think there's that dichotomy. But I think that for Aldo, I agree. I think that would be the approach for sure.
Yeah, it just makes it super hard. It's just like Damian Maia. Good luck trying to get him to talk smack. It seems like one of the nicest guys in the world.
He is.
Right?
He is.
And what's crazy about Damian Maia is like, I want this title fight, and then he winds up booking another fight against Masvidal. Then he beats him, doesn't say a word, and then he says, you know what? I don't want to fight for the title right now. I got seminars to do with my students. Yeah. That's insane.
How do you hate on him?
He's one of a kind.
Crazy.
One of a kind.
How much pressure do you think Jose's going to feel? Like, I'm going to give him so much props if he gets to, because he's in Brazil. And there's a lot of fighters, Brazilian fighters that are moving out. I think Jose might be like not the only one, but I'm saying like big stars right now. Yeah. And I was watching from that Foxing that they had, building his own gym. So how huge is it going to be in Brazil when 212 comes along?
I think it's going to be really huge. Okay. I think anytime there's a Brazilian fighter fighting in the main event, it's big. And also Aldo, had his movie that came out about a year ago, or maybe a little bit more than that. So people obviously know who he is. He's got, a fast burger joint now. He's opening up his own gym. People obviously know who this guy is. Yeah. So I'm sure he is feeling the pressure a little bit, but again, after losing to Conor McGregor, I think a lot of that pressure is probably off of him at this point. And I think he's just really focused on just going out there and competing. But one thing's for sure, I mean, the crowd's going to be insane for that fight. Yeah. In Rio, in his hometown, main event for the belt, it's going to be nuts.
I would love to be there, man.
How big of a star is Aldo? You're more of an inside guy. You probably get more, intel than us. Mm-hmm. How big of a star is he really in Brazil?
He's a big deal, man. For sure, he's a big deal, especially after that movie that came out about his life. I think that he's, it was interesting. But during that Conor McGregor fight, I know that he was a little bit pissed off based on some of the Brazilians cheering for Conor McGregor. And I think he felt like, that like in Brazil, he was saying something to the effect of, that there's more support for some of the foreign fighters than there are for the Brazilian fighters and blah, blah, blah. I think he was a little turned off by that people were kind of, getting behind Conor a little bit. But I think now that he's fighting another, Hawaiian fighter, that he's got the belt again, that people kind of more know his story. I think that he is a huge star. He's going to have an amazing amount of support. And there's just not a whole lot of Brazilian champions left. Yeah. And I think that for them, they realize this is the guy. He's like a Brazilian institution at this point. This is the guy you got to support. So
that's their horse.
I think he's a big star, and I think with this win, he'll be even bigger.
Nice. Oh, that's gonna be good.
Now let's talk about the co-main event. Who do you have winning that? Claudia Gadelha, Christina?
You know what? I got to go with Gadelha. I think Gadelha is the more technical fighter. Yeah. I think the fact that it's 15 minutes really serves her well. We saw Gadelha slow down a little bit against Joanna Jędrzejczyk in the 5-round fight. I think Karolina Kowalkiewicz also has a tendency of being a slow starter, and that's not the way you want to start against someone like Gedalia. I think Gedalia, her wrestling is one of the best in the division. The way she sets it up, she's extremely technical. She's obviously excellent on the mat as well. And both of these women have only lost to Joanna Jędrzejczyk. I think that's their only losses. So that's interesting. But the fact that it's 15 minutes, I think, is a huge advantage for Gedalia. I think Carolina is still developing. I think she's very, very tough. I think her clinch striking is probably better than Gedalia, but other than that, Gedalia has all the other advantages, in my opinion.
I just think she has just more tools, and I think she's just going to try to stifle her, because all Kovacevic has is really the striking. I've never seen her go for a takedown or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, she's gotten a couple of counter throws, but you're right. In a 3-round fight, Claudia is, stepping on that gas pedal. She's a lot more athletic. It's going to be hard to stop her. But what I like about Carolina is that she's such a simple fighter. Basics. And a lot of times, the basics can stifle people. A nice jab can throw somebody off of their rhythm. And as we see, if you're thrown off from your rhythm, you might not even be able to get a takedown. Time and time again has somebody been jabbed to death, and the best wrestler can't take somebody down. But I'm not saying Carolina's going to win.
So you're going Claudia as well?
I believe so. Correct. Yes.
So other than those fights, is there any other fight that kind of excites you right now that you're excited for? Maybe like a dark horse that might have like the fight of the night?
Jeez.
Or fighter?
I got Asuncao and Marlon Moraes, man. Rafael Asuncao against Marlon Moraes is going to be fire. I think those two guys are absolute killers. I picked Moraes to win, but, I mean, fighting Rafael Asuncao in your debut is a lot, man. That is not an easy fight at all. Asuncao is so solid everywhere, and when he's healthy, he has the capability of beating anyone in that division. I really believe that. But I think Moraes, I think he stays a little busier. I think he throws with a little bit more volume. Him training with Frankie Edgar, him training with Edson Barbosa, I think gives him an advantage. I think some lines had him as much as like a 2-1 favorite, which I think is a little generous, but I think Moraes should be able to pull it off, but not an easy fight. Either way, I think that fight is definitely going to be fight of the night. One of them.
I'm pretty excited for that because I've been following Marlon ever since Ricardo Almeida was on, and he kept speaking to him. So now I'm like, I follow him. For the listeners that don't know who Marlon is, can you kind of give them a breakdown of what kind of fighter we have to watch?
For sure. He obviously fought over in the World Series of Fighting, WSOF. He's the champion in that division at 135 pounds. He is extremely fast, very explosive striker, and he's an absolute killer. He trains with, as you mentioned, Ricardo Almeida and Mark Henry, two guys that are just phenomenal instructors with a ton of experience. Trained side by side with Frankie Edgar and Barbosa and all those killers over there, and they just speak so highly of him. So they think they have a champion, a future champion in their stable, and they might be right. I mean, that division's getting crazy now. When you look at Cody Garbrandt, Dominic Cruz, TJ Dillashaw, Rafael Asuncao, the division just is getting nuts.
Stack it up.
I'm really curious to see how he does, man.
I agree. Marlon is a monster.
Yeah, babe.
That should be his nickname. And like you said, the potential matchups if he wins this fight against the likes of TJ Dillashaw, Cody Garbrandt, the list goes on.
It gets sexy. It gets kind of sexy.
Definitely.
Now, I don't know how much time you have left. Do you have another 10 minutes?
I got about another 5 minutes or so.
Okay, cool. Perfect. Yeah. IBJJF Worlds. You're commentating again.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I can't wait, man. On Sunday, I'll be there for the finals. I'll be commentating the finals with Sean Williams. So
okay. What do you like commentating more, Jiu-Jitsu Worlds or UFC events? Don't lie.
You know, man, I think there's a lot more energy and excitement around a UFC fight.
Yeah.
But as far as satisfying the inner nerd in me, jiu-jitsu, because you can geek out about what guys are doing, and you always see something new or some different approach, or you get the matchups that you want to see, and you see these guys, and especially training with these guys or seeing them compete. You see this guy, and you go, this guy's at an insane level, and this guy just came out and beat him. Like, how good is this guy's jiu-jitsu, or how good is this guy as a competitor? And just seeing the different approach and the strategies and the techniques is fascinating to me. So it might not have the same excitement level, but as far as learning and satisfying, the inner nerd, jiu-jitsu is awesome.
Yeah, I agree, man. And Jiu-Jitsu Worlds is the most prestigious, I guess, gi tournament each year. Probably the most prestigious tournament around, period, that comes annually.
Yes.
And if you don't watch it, even if you're just a no-gi only guy, it's so important to watch because you see the levels and you see, like you said, the strategy involved. And, like you just said, the best of the best. Lucas Lepre is competing. He's coming back to defend his title. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe some guy that just got his black belt comes in and beats him. That's the beauty of it.
It's funny. We were I was just talking to my buddy about Lucas Lepre and his approach, man. That guy is just
an animal.
In my opinion, one of the GOATs. Because there's technicians. There's a lot of amazing technicians out there. But when you get a guy in Lepre who he has no known weaknesses. This guy has amazing takedowns, amazing guard, amazing passing.
Yeah.
You can't submit him. His defense is amazing. His offense is amazing. This is a guy who makes other amazing jiu-jitsu practitioners look like beginners out there.
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't believe what he did to Liera in the Pan Ams. It looked like, I was just blown away by his performance. And Lepre is not slowing down. And he just doesn't make any mistakes, and you can't get in his head. He's one of the most impressive competitors that I've ever seen. MMA, jiu-jitsu, whatever.
Wow, bold statement.
Woo! He's fired up, baby.
But you're right. It's so cool to see Lucas fight compete because the guy that he's competing against doesn't really want to pull guard, but it's so hard to take him down. And, it's
like, what do?
You don't know what to do. You would have to be super excited to play your guard against Lucas, but he's so good at just kind of shutting people down than passing them. It's so beautiful to watch. Scrambles don't exist in a Lucas match.
Yeah. Yep. He shuts you down, man.
Yeah. Now, another potential finals matchup that I'm really looking forward to, hopefully it happens, Caio Terra versus Bruno Malfacini. What do you think?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, obviously these guys are definite, very familiar with each other. I think that for Caio, he's always been right there. It seems like these guys are always, coming down to like an advantage to determine who wins. Malvicini is a guy, obviously, has won so many freaking world championships. I think like 8. Is it 8 world championships at this point? But the guy's an absolute beast. But Caio Terra is a guy who's definitely knocking on that door. Super technical. He's going to be a lot taller. He's rangier than Malvicini. But I think for him, he's got to come in with a very good strategy to maybe score a little bit late in the match. And then kind of just stall Malvicini out somehow.
Yeah.
But Malvicini, there's just so much movement involved with Malvicini. He doesn't let you kind of just relax. You can just chill at any point. He's always doing something. And he's another guy that rarely makes mistakes. So I think that's going to be a very exciting final if that's the way it goes down.
Yeah, and he's so explosive, so athletic, and he makes his techniques work with his athleticism, and it's good for newer jiu-jitsu students that are coming off from a sport and they're already athletic. They might be a gymnast, they might be a basketball player. They're already very athletic, to show them that your athleticism can work with techniques, but it can't just be random though, right?
Yeah, no, for sure. I think movement's a big part of his game. I think that's one of his natural gifts, and he uses it extremely well. Some guys like to have kind of that slow, grinding approach, more of like the shutdown game. They won't let you move. Malvicini is just, he'll let you move, but he's always going to be a step ahead. It's just like,
The guy's a firecracker. Now, last thing. Absolute division, the crown jewel, I guess, of that tournament, of that whole competition. Marcus Buchecha's back. Does he do it? Does he do it again?
I think he does. I think he does it again. Talk about movement. This is a heavyweight that kind of moves like he's in Malvicini's division. He's a handful, man, and I think he is very hungry. I don't see anyone who is athletic as Buchecha right now, and who probably is as hungry as Buchecha right now. So I think he's going to take it. Obviously, there's Leandro Lo. These guys have actually been training together as of late, but I think Buchecha is just probably going to be a little bit too big, a little bit too fast. He has a lot on his side right now, man.
Sure,
a lot on his side. I'm most fascinated to see how he does against Hodger Gracie. in the pro league. And I hope that both those guys stay healthy so we can see that.
Absolutely.
I would love to see that rematch.
Yeah. And if you haven't seen their first match for Metamoras, go back. It's on YouTube. Amazing fight. Amazing fight. Kenny, thank you so much. We really appreciate this. You're an honor to have on the podcast and always a pleasure to have. So thank you so much. And we look forward to hearing your broadcast.
Oh, always fun talking to you guys.
Ooh,
thanks, man. Take care, brother.
Take care. Bye.
Peace.
Thank you guys for listening. That was Kenny Florian. As always, he's a great guest, fun guy to talk to, and very, very, very intelligently knowledgeable. What?
If you guys, knowledge bombs.
Yeah, man. If you guys like this podcast, go to
share,
iTunes,
subscribe, rate, give us some love anywhere, guys. At us,
at Show the Art Podcast, at STA, whatever.
Hit
Show
us on
the
our
Art
DMs.
X. Yeah, DM Ames.
Yeah, no, don't DM.
Send Ames
weird
weird pictures.
No, we're good.
At
unless it's about wrestling, guys, because I'll geek out over
weird
that.
wrestling pictures. Send them those at AMZ Pie on Instagram. And guys, please, we really appreciate if you leave iTunes reviews. That goes a long way.
Yep.
Give us that 5-star rating. We're not begging for it, but we would appreciate it.
No, we're begging, homie. It makes us feel nice.
All right, so don't front.
No, don't front.
Okay, we're begging.
Yeah, we're. All right, guys, we're out. Peace.